Jaylen Brown slams referee for threatening technical foul in C's loss. The Boston Celtics' loss to the Chicago Bulls on Thursday night was filled with tension, and not just on the court. Jaylen Brown made it clear that he wasn't happy with how things unfolded, particularly with one specific moment that he felt crossed the line. With just over 5 minutes left in the game and the Celtics trailing by 3, a controversial call by referee Justin Van Duyne sparked an eruption. Van Duyne gave Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla a technical foul after he disagreed with a jump ball call. Brown, visibly frustrated, stepped in to protest. In response, Van Duyne handed out another technical foul, this time on Brown himself. The Bulls capitalized on the situation, converting the free throws, winning the jump ball, and then hitting a three-pointer from Zach LaVine that pushed their lead to 8. That was the final blow, as the Celtics couldn't recover, eventually losing 117-108 in an upset. After the game, Mazzulla explained that his technical was for stepping onto the court, but Brown didn't see it that way. He argued that Van Duyne's decision was unwarranted and a misuse of power. Brown was particularly upset about the interaction that followed, where he felt Van Duyne threatened him with further technical fouls. Here's how Brown saw it. "I got fined a couple weeks ago for an inadvertent gesture that wasn't part of the game. I took the fine. But what part of the game is it when a ref calls a tech for no reason? And when I tell him, 'You called a tech for no reason,' he says, 'If you say it again, I'll call another tech.' So, I said it again and he called it." Brown didn't hold back, calling out what he saw as a misuse of authority by the referee. "You can't threaten guys with a technical foul. That's not part of the game either. That's some bulls." He also pointed out that as a team captain, he had the right to speak his mind and question calls, especially when he felt the situation was mishandled. Brown's frustration also extended to the jump ball call itself, where he believed he should have been the one to take the tie-up instead of guard Peyton Pritchard. However, it was the referee's behavior that seemed to fuel most of his anger. "As a captain, before every game, I shake all the refs' hands because I speak for my team," Brown explained. "I'm allowed to talk. But when I tell you, you called a tech for no reason, and you threaten to call another, that's not part of the game. That's abusing your power." While Brown may face another fine for his outspoken criticism, his message was clear. The Celtics will be back in Chicago for a rematch on Saturday, and fans are left wondering, will this incident spark further tension in the next game? Could this turn into a bigger issue for the Celtics down the line? Jason Tatum flirts with NBA history in dominant performance. It was one of those nights where it was impossible to look away. Jason Tatum was on another level Saturday night, leaving the United Center crowd in awe. In a dominant win over the Chicago Bulls, Tatum delivered a historic performance that will be remembered for years to come. With 43 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists, Tatum notched his third career triple-double, but this was far from ordinary. He shot an incredible 16-4-24 from the field, including 9-4-15 from beyond the arc, making history in the process. Tatum became the first Celtics player ever to record a triple-double with those numbers, cementing his place in the franchise's storied history. But it didn't stop there. Tatum joined exclusive company, becoming just the second player in NBA history to achieve a triple-double with at least 40 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists, and 9 three-pointers. Only James Harden had previously done so, with a remarkable 53-point performance in 2016. Tatum's performance has now put him in a league of his own, and his efficiency was undeniable. "Some nights, you just feel really good," Tatum said after the game. "Shots are going in. The ball is hot. You're in the right spots. It all just clicked." His words reflected the confidence that had him on fire throughout the night. When Tatum's on, he makes it look effortless, like he's in complete control of the game. But what's even more impressive is how Tatum has elevated his all-around game. He notched double-digit rebounds for the 6th straight game, showcasing his growth as a complete player. His career-high averages in rebounds, 9.0, and assists, 5.5, are proof of the hard work he's put into his development. Tatum's performance also served as a reminder of what the Celtics need when they're tested. With the Bulls hanging around into the second half, it was Tatum's 18-point explosion in the third quarter, including 4 made three-pointers, that put the game out of reach. As the Celtics continue their push for a championship, one question remains: how much higher can Tatum go? If this performance is any indication, his ceiling is sky high. Will he continue to raise the bar and push the limits of what's possible? Only time will tell, but for now, Tatum is reminding everyone why he's one of the best in the game. Celtics face critical reality check after technical foul outbursts. The Boston Celtics' recent loss to the Chicago Bulls revealed a glaring issue, one that could undermine their championship aspirations if not addressed swiftly. While the focus should have been on the game, the Celtics found themselves tangled in a dispute with the referees, a situation that spiraled out of control during the fourth quarter. In the midst of their 117-108 defeat to a team they were expected to dominate, head coach Joe Mazzulla, along with stars Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, were all assessed technical fouls. This loss marked yet another instance of the Celtics losing focus on the court, letting frustration with officiating get the best of them at a critical moment. This isn't an isolated issue. It's part of a larger trend that has affected teams across the NBA. But the Celtics know they have to change the way they approach referees, especially as the stakes get higher. According to guard Peyton Pritchard, the team had a clear conversation about their behavior, acknowledging that there's room for growth. "We know the refs aren't perfect, and neither are we. We need to do a better job of controlling our emotions, even when we disagree with a call," Pritchard said after the shoot-around. "We talked about it this morning. Let's not focus on the refs too much. Let's focus on playing the game the right way." It's a simple message, but one that could make all the difference moving forward. The Celtics are a talented team with the potential to be a true contender, but that potential could be derailed by distractions like arguing with officials. Jayson Tatum, in particular, has been the main offender, leading the team with 5 technical fouls. As the Celtics prepare for their rematch against the Bulls, the question remains: can they stick to their game plan and avoid getting sidetracked by calls they disagree with? If they can, it could mark a turning point in their season. The question is, will they be able to control their emotions, or will this issue continue to hold them back? Joe Mazzulla fined $35,000 after confrontation in game against the Bulls. The situation escalated during the game between the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls, and what seemed like a simple loss turned into something much more controversial. Head coach Joe Mazzulla was fined $35,000 for aggressively approaching a referee after the final whistle of the game, which ended with the Celtics' defeat by 117-108. On Wednesday, at the peak of the tension, Mazzulla left his coaching area and headed toward the court, challenging the rules and receiving a technical foul. What happened next was even more shocking. He approached referee Justin Van Dyne, only being restrained by the intervention of the Celtics' assistant coaches. However, when asked about the incident, Mazzulla downplayed the situation with a sarcastic remark, "I just hadn't seen them in a while, so I took the opportunity to wish them a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays," he said seriously. "I wasn't sure if I'd see them before the holidays. You can't miss the chance to wish them and their families the best." Such behavior, however, does not go unnoticed. The $35,000 fine raises the question: how much does the pressure of tightly contested games justify actions like this? How will the league respond if this happens again? And what will the impact be on the behavior of coaches in future games? The answer may surprise everyone. And it doesn't end there. The Celtics will face the same Bulls again this Saturday, and the big question everyone is asking now is, what can we expect from this rematch, now with an even more tense atmosphere?